What's up, Daily Fab Gamers? Thank you so much for watching my stream. Before you jump into this red-hot action, let's review the rules. Don't be a dick. This should go without saying, but better safe than sorry. Chat with me. You know that I can talk at my computer for hours, but it's more fun when my computer talks back. And let's have a good time. I don't mind getting sweaty, but we can have fun while we do it. Use the chat command deck for a link to the list I'm playing here. It's also in the video description. Some of these decks are sick, and you might want to play them in real life. In that case, let me refer you to Hemel from the Bazaar. It's never been more affordable to play in the flesh and blood. Players have been buying the cards they need from Hemel for years. I started buying from him in 2023 and have never found a better deal. The Bazaar's prices are the lowest for singles, full sets, and class sets, including new releases. Super Slam singles and more are available now and ship both domestically and internationally. Use the command Hemel for contact info, then reach out to see what he can do for you. Now settle in and get cozy because the stream begins now. Good morning, everyone. It's me, it's Lupinefiasco. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week. We made it back to a full-length stream playing Arakni Slip Through the Cracks, a channel update, there's gameplay, we can talk about the cosplay thing. There's so much to discuss and so much to do. There are 8 of you here now. Thank you so much for joining me on time. It's extra credit, bonus points for that. While we wait for more people to file in, let's go ahead and review what we're going to be playing today, how the deck looks overall, review some Fablazing stats. We'll jump into some gameplay after that, and do our usual little chat as we go through. If you watched Monday's stream, a lot of this will be familiar to you. Not much has changed about my new Arakni list. I'm still experimenting with prey spotters. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Hi, Cindra. Hi, Chad. Prey Spotters taking the place of Crown of Providence. I'm still not 100% sure on this card. It blocks 1 less than Crown. It doesn't protect against CNC, or I don't know. That's kind of it as far as interactable Arsenal Disruption. Leave No Witnesses, Meat Madness, maybe. Good morning, Boston. But it blocks 1. It has play into Dash.io and T-Bone. Dio making a potential, not even resurgence. She's been a popular deck for a while, but with the fall of Florian losing to 6 to 9 copies of Root-Bound Carapace from every deck, Dio looks a whole lot better, and Prey Spotters plays around T-Bone. It is a 2-card 8 with Double Trouble and Stains of the Red back, which are in the list. We do love our 2-card 8s with Double Trouble lines. It also enables the really broken Horrors of the Past turns, where you send like Persuasive Prognosis, follow up with Horrors of the Past, break Prey Spotters, play Take Up the Mantle, pull a Kiss of Death from your graveyard, give it go again, either with Stains or Stalker Steps, send another attack, and then flick Knives the Kiss of Death, which you wouldn't be able to do if your opponent started the turn unmarked and you needed them to be marked. You could flick to turn on Mantle, but then you wouldn't be able to flick the Kiss of Death that you mantled into. So it does enable some pretty crazy lines, but speaking of horrors, this is kind of a question mark for me. The card is good, for sure. It's a yellow 3 block. It has text. But the more Slippies I talk to, the more we're all having this experience with horrors, which is like, oh, it's supposed to do this broken thing. And it's really hard to do, right? We look at, I think for me, I was looking at Horrors of the Past and thinking that it was the new Bonds of Agony, where Horrors is the payoff. But I think Horrors is just the enabler for the broken stuff. And then we look at Bonds and it was like, well, have Bonds. You probably have 2 onboard reactions, and then you just need another reaction in hand, and that turns on Bonds. But Horrors, you need Mantle, you need Kiss of Death in your graveyard, and you need some other stealth attack that has relevant text. Meat Madness is my new favorite card. Meat Madness is sick. Good morning, Rose. Morning, Mosered. Yeah, Meat Madness is like I'm very impressed with Meat Madness. It's just, 0 for 3 go again. It has text. The correct play in every situation is to not block Meat Madness, but that's also really good. A third of the time, Meat Madness just gets your opponent, and they were totally right to not block it. If they have an arsenal, which is why Codex of Inertia is now in the list, it has a 2/3 chance to just get them if they don't block it. Or if your opponent arsenals naturally, or if you Codex of Frailty them and put Meat Madness from your graveyard into your arsenal. There's a lot of ways where Meat Madness is just good. Codex of Frailty is a card that my teammate is really high on. I didn't know how to play this card, really. Like, I can read it, and I know what the text says. I know Marionettes are doing it, and Marionette has a bit of an easier time with Codex because they can send a dagger, play out a bunch of dagger reactions from hand, close the chain, play Codex of Inertia from hand, get a card from their deck into their arsenal, and it's either going to be an attack, a dagger pump, or a dagger reaction. And then they have a floating resource and send the Calycera or the Clave, play the reaction on it, get the Ponder Arsenal a card, and it's all well and good. Slippy has a harder time just playing a random card off the top of the deck, especially if we are keeping cards in hand and not blocking. You pitch a blue, attack with a dagger, send a stealth attack, play Codex of Inertia, get an attack reaction into your arsenal. You have no more attacks. The Ponder triggers, and you have an attack reaction in your arsenal. You're stuck with this card in your hand. The key I learned to Codex of Inertia is you have a card in your arsenal when you play Codex of Inertia. You get your opponent with it. If you have a card in arsenal and your opponent doesn't, the Codex says they block worse from hand because they have lost a card in hand, gained a card in arsenal, and hopefully it wasn't a defense reaction. You also then gave them the Inertia, so they can't set up on you, and this is relevant if we're looking at the top of the meta, like Acilio and Dash.io. Even Gravy is trying to arsenal cards. And it turns on your Leave No Witnesses and Meat Madness from hand. So it's a card I'm trying. I didn't put Horrors in my own Slippy list. It's just a few cards you want to copy that is really good. Yeah, I'm not off Horrors yet. What I think Horrors also does for us is let us play more Spike of Bloodrot and Stains of the Red back. So I don't mind having a yellow 3-block. But yeah, so far I haven't done the broken thing with Horrors, and I'm still waiting for it, still looking for it. Might just be a playstyle thing that I have to change. Meat Madness has been looking better and better. Goated card. I remember when people were dogging on that card when it got spoiled. Well, it's just like very innocuous, right? It's 0 for 3 go again. Slippy has a ton of those already. It's just that the text says a third of the time this gets you. It's never right to block it, and that helps us when we're playing like Spike of Bloodrot and Stains of the Red back. Or maybe we can just put some damage on Meat Madness that people didn't want to block anyway. It kind of has that kiss of death factor that Marionettes get. Slippy kind of gets it too, but like, well, if there are T-Toxes still in your deck, I'm not going to block Kiss of Death, so I'm just taking some damage. Meat Madness says, well, if you're not blocking it, I can put damage on this, and then you're just taking damage. The art is top-notch. Meat Madness art is really good. My only complaint about Meat Madness is that it's M-E-E-T. I really wanted it to be M-E-A-T. Which Assassin doesn't have the same relationship with meat puns that Runeblade does, but Meat Madness, I thought that would have been great. Personally a fan of Codex of Bloodrot, played it in Riptide for a while because I didn't have Frailty, can see where Inertia can be nice. So I have Codex of Bloodrot in the sideboard for, I don't know, any Earth heroes that probably don't exist anymore. I'm probably going to cut Codex at some point. It's just something I'm testing out. What's the deal with the thumbnails? Someone came into my chat yesterday and said they're unsubbing to me because my thumbnails are annoying, and then I spun out over it, where I'm like, that's what the algorithm demands in 2025, and I'm not enough of a disruptor to come up with a new thumbnail game. So, background image, tagline, image of my face, it works. It drives clicks. I suspect Horrors is better in Mario, but I don't play nearly enough Mario to tell. I couldn't tell you, and I don't play any Marionette either. Just new changes to the list from Monday. We're playing 3 copies of Double Trouble, which is kind of a generically good card. I'm a firm believer that every Slippy deck should have at least 1 copy of Red Double Trouble to finish a game with Take Up the Mantle. That was the case when Bonds was still legal, because sometimes your opponent's at 2, it's hard for them to block. You don't have the 3rd reaction because you're blocking out and you've used your equipment. You don't have the third reaction to turn on bonds, but you do have the second reaction to turn on double trouble. You still have your flick knives and a dagger would take up the mantle. So I'm a firm believer that every Slippy deck should have at least one red double trouble in the 60 all times. But I like the 3. I'm up on reactions. I'm playing 16 in the 51 here. 2 of them are Knight's Embrace. So that means I have 14 real attack reactions. T-Togs is a little situational with double trouble, but we've got the Stains, we've got the Spikes. Stains and Spikes both play well with equipment. Prey Spotters, Stains is a 2-card 8. Redback Spike is a 2-card 10. You can redback a Stains if you really needed to, and that's a 2-card 8. I'm playing 1 copy of Death Touch. This is to compensate for not having any CNCs in the list. Because I'm down on blues, I'm only playing 5. So I'm cutting CNC. Death Touch is here as the one of that we can pick up with Codex of Frailty off of Tunic Counter or Pitch a Blue to Clave, play Codex, pick up and play Death Touch. Still a totally reasonable card. My only problem with it is it blocks 2. Maybe I end up swapping it for a 1 of CNC at some point, just to nix her out. Playing 3 copies of E-Strike. I've been told that it's just a really solid card in Slippy, especially with Codex of Inertia in the list. But my stealth count is 23 to 26 in any given matchup. Maybe that's just too low, so you could very easily cut 3 copies of E-Strike and put in 3 Art of Desire body or 2 AOD body and the 3rd Mark of the Black Widow. Either way. So new cards, Death Touch, some number of double troubles, E-Strikes, Codex of Inertia, and then we go down to the sideboard. The only change I've made to the board from Monday's stream is cutting Widowvale Respirator and putting in Black Tech Whisperers. Whisperers here for Dio, Acilio, it's not Acilio, Dio, Cindra. And Widowvale Respirator was only for Verdance, who I'm kind of just choosing to disrespect right now. Not a disruptor, says the guy streaming Assassin. Not that kind of disruptor. I'm not an industry disruptor. I don't disrupt the industry. So that's the deck we're playing today. I'm excited about it. Slippy's been feeling okay so far. I mean, it's into Talishar random, so you can never really be sure that that's your deck is good, but you can head over to fablazing.com/DFG. There's a link in the video description. You can also use the command !data in chat if you want to bring up Fablazing on your own. We can look at the matchup matrix. This is my favorite tool to use with Fablazing. You can either sort by paper or Talishar stats. I just want to do take a quick peek at how Slippy's been doing recently. Rocking that insane 40.3% in Talishar matches. Not 100% what the data range is here, but overall, not good. I think a lot of this is just gathered from not the past week before Slippy got the Armory deck and became much better. Before the Armory deck, there's no reason to play Slippy. Terrible matchup into Marionette, Gravy, Acilio. Dio's about 50%, Rhinar, Laya, Cindra. All of it's looking bad, and I think this is not reflective of Slippy overall. I think Slippy should have a better win rate than this. Go into tools, check out, what do I want to look at? I think I want to look at meta instead. Again, we can sort by Talishar over the past 7 days. This will be a better representation. Slippy's definitely up there. Its representation is climbing as people are testing the deck, trying to figure it out. Not feeling E-Strike right now. I'm not either, but my teammate swears by it, says to give it a try. We've got 2 weeks until RTN starts. Why not? Let's figure it out. Let's give it a shot and just see. What are the other Slippies playing? Taking the Mantle, Razor's Edge. Not 3 copies of Mark. I agree with it. All the normal stuff. We're starting to see 61% on at least 2 copies of Double Trouble. I'm off of it. Moving down on Command and Conquer as well. We're all doing about the same thing. Yellow Shred, I think, kind of dies with Earth. Is a better matchup spread? No, this is the exact same one. So, overall, what can we take from this? Slippy's not in a good spot right now. National championships are all... Most recent Slippy list is Battle Hardened Vienna, which we don't have a deck list for. That's sad. Pleiades better watch out. Oh yeah, Quiniverse. Cuniverse. Cuniverse. I mean, Pleiades might... I've heard rumors of some secret Pleiades list that's doing pretty well now that Verdance is, not necessarily the hot deck anymore. Slippy was fine for armories. I played a list with a heavy focus on the Kiss of Death Toxicity combo when 2 and 2 and should have been 3-1, but you threw a game you won. I think Slippy is a very good armory hero right now. Depending on your armory, I've got a marionette in my local scene that I play with regularly who I really don't want to run into that. It's the reason that I would not play Slippy in an RTN that this player is going to be at. Playing into Vynnset. This is a hero that I've heard interesting things about, that people think like Vynnset might be in a decent position. So we have thinking. My Vynnset board is not normal or good, and you should not play this in other matchups. The Vynnset board is me taking out anything that doesn't fatigue Vynnset. So 2 blocks come out. We're starting to cut some reds. Is this the one and only? I sure hope so. The plan to Vynnset is to fatigue her. I am actively looking to fatigue Vynnset. Probably take out Prowl. Probably take out E-Strikes. And... I have any hidden 2 blocks in here? I don't think so. So we'll cut T-Tox. Sure. If this is live or if it is to be used live, I am currently streaming. So no chance of that. Sorry. Vynnset is a funky matchup. Do you just race? I do not race Vynnset. I am trying to fatigue Vynnset. This one might dip. I don't know if they're trying to keep their list a secret or not. But yeah, the Vynnset plan is just fatigue her. Especially if she's presenting 60 cards. What I will very likely do now is just send some damage. The thing with Vynnset is you can't really race her that easily because she just blocks so efficiently. So no utility blues and Justinic. What's the reasoning for that? I kind of want to try E-Strike in my list, but cutting blue, Double Trouble, and Justinic, the only ways I can think to add it, and that makes Prague feel worse. I just generally don't have anything to... I don't want to play blues. Is why I'm doing it. I also don't want to play Justinic. I feel like Justinic lost a lot of value without bonds. Am I gonna get culled here? Maybe. And if I am gonna get culled here, I'm playing around it. I'm very afraid of cull. So I didn't Razor's Edge the Infect because if I get culled, then I lose my Sink Below, and I really want my Sink Below. Sorry, so I think Justinic is bad without bonds. You are either only playing 6 targets, Double Trouble, and Prognosis. Not having a blue here is pretty bad, which means I'm taking some Rune Chant damage. Oh, Vynnset was on anyway, so yes. I will pitch the Codex, prevent 2. I'm taking these 2. You have a Widespread Ruin in your hand. This gets blocked by T-Tox and the Sink. I'm not going to sink anything from hand because I want 6 to cover the Widespread Ruin. I think Justinic is very bad. There's only 6 targets in the deck, and like blue Double Trouble is not a good card that I want to be doing that to. I don't care about Justinicking a blue double trouble. So I'm cutting Justinick, and if I'm cutting Justinick, then I can also cut blue double trouble. All right, I'm getting succumbed. So this is either going to be hard cast, attack, or you're going to flail me, and if you flail me, I just put Prey Spitters in front of it. All right, hard casting destruction, that's fine. So Justinick comes out, the blues come out. The blues come out, which means I'm cutting C and C because I can't pay for it anymore. And then I just get to play reds. Oh, that's too bad. I would have liked that shelter. They lose Malefic, which is also, like, not bad for me. But yeah, the shelter would have been nice. What am I doing with this hand? Kinda nothing, actually. I don't mind holding it. I'm gonna play this creep. But as far as putting any of these into my arsenal, I kind of don't need to. Like, I might arsenal the Codex of Inertia. And I'm only playing the creep to get rid of it. The problem is that this might open Vynnset up to, like, playing a reduced rune chant. Yeah, I'm just gonna arsenal this Codex. Make it so that Vynnset can't, like, de-react whatever my follow-up is. Codex of Frailty here. Just kind of sucks. What am I doing with this hand? It was weird for me to see Justinick become bad. It's been such a staple of every assassin deck since MST, but the fact that it only hits 1 attacks makes it very meh without new and bonds. I totally agree. I feel the same way. Vynnset sitting on 2 blood debt currently. She's setting up some big turn. So what do I want to do about that? I don't super want to banish more cards from Vynnset, but I also feel like I should start doing something. I wish I had a better frailty target. What I might do instead is just play my Codex of Inertia, discard Mark, and then be able to, like, do something. I'll discard Mark. I have it take up the mantle. That's kind of interesting. Can play Prognosis. This might be too aggressive. It might be that what I'm supposed to do is just keep a hand of blues and yellows. Let Vynnset try to figure it out. You sank a card from your hand. That is fine. I think I just want to play Horrors. I don't want to give Vynnset the opportunity to clave me. As much as I know that I'm IPing a card by doing this, I don't want to get claved. My intention here is to Flick Knives take up into Black Widow. This does a few things for me. Yes, it banishes a card from Vynnset, which is potentially bad. But it does reduce her hand size, and she's clearly setting up for something. Is that Lupinefiasco from the next episode of Breakpoints? It's me. You know it. All right, we just get 2 D-reacts from Vynnset. I guess that's kind of fine. I also free up a dagger slot for when I draw my first Calicera. Arsenal Codex. Hey, this hand is fine. Ooh, that's a good little setup from Vin. Take the first rune chant. It is me from the next episode of Breakpoints. Currently trying to survive this Vynnset turn. I don't think I was supposed to discard Shelter there. Knowing that I already took the damage and knowing what's happening to me next. Yeah, that was actually wrong. I lost a point of value from that. That's all right. We both took damage. Oh, you're flailing me. Okay. This is what Prey Spotters gets used for. You're going to close the chain. You make 2 rune chants. You're going to attack with Phantom Wraith. I'm going to take some amount of damage from this. Here's where I get a little punished. Yeah, this was a nice turn. I do wish I still had the D-React. I definitely punted here. That's okay. If I had the D-React still, I would have taken a little more damage from the Deathly Wail. I guess I would have had to block it out. Maybe I would have just gotten got here. I think I would have taken less damage, but I still would have been got by Vynnset. Vynnset doesn't have a Crown of Providence anymore, so I do just get to Leave No Witnesses her. She could have a D-React, so she does have to care. The Fatigue plan is currently not going great. We are on even hand sizes, and Vynnset is pretty well set up to not be dead. Yeah, so far not great. I might have also just given her a Phantom Wraith in Arsenal. Deathly Wail in Arsenal. She could set something up pretty nasty here. I am not going to Arsenal Knight's Embrace. I want a blue, so I can pay for rune chants. If life was lost, you can only creepers it out. This is going to be, I think, Deathly Wail. She might not be able to do this. Pitch the T-Tox. Because no player will take life, will take damage. This has go again. You can attack with the flail, but you're frail, so you can't. I can sink below to prevent the damage. So again, neither player has taken damage so far. Your line is to flail me? Oh, or just play Revel. Jesus. Yep, she's got me. That's pretty brutal. Yeah, this is not going well. She keeps creepers. She still has Quill Hand. Yeah, I think I'm going to lose this game. Not 100% sure what's been happening this game, like why I'm losing it, but it's not going great. And like not having, just having a handful of reds here isn't good. What's up, Garth? This is 4. You can just block like that. I still don't think I can race her though. Sometimes Vynnset just shits out damage. I mean, this Vynnset is definitely playing the game correctly. Playing the matchup correctly. Like, she set up twice. She did 2 turns where she went at least 2 chain links wide. Like, they are just piloting the game correctly. We've seen 2 Shadow Puppetries, 1 Machinations. Flail coming in, what was this? Eloquent Eulogy? Yes, you're also going to make a Eulogy token. Block this with Spinneret. I'm not going to give up Tunic or Flick Knives yet. You've been Vynnsetted. Oh, and this is Phantom Wraith coming in? Yeah, this Vynnset just, like, really knows how to play the game. And I am not totally up to speed with what Vynnset's doing. So, like, I should have saved... I should have blocked with Flick Knives and then saved the Spinneret for the Deathly Wail. I always feel like Vyn should be more popular than she is. She's just a very difficult hero to play. Like, this Vynnset really knows what the fuck is happening. Like, she knows she's piloted the game well. It's just a very good, competent Vynnset player. Like, I think I've probably piloted this game wrong. I've been more aggressive than I should have been. I really just shouldn't ever be attacking Vynnset. I think that's been my problem this game, is I've been focused on, like, trying to get good value out of my cards, and like, oh, I need to make sure that I'm, like, getting full value from things. I just need to not be attacking her. We had 1 turn where she got to play 2 D-reacts from hand. One of them was a reduce. I should have just not sent damage. She's the only hero that I can fatigue by really just doing nothing. She's creeping every turn, like... I'll let her kill me. She's also playing Revel in Runeblood, which Vynnset's, I don't know, usually don't do. This is coming in for 4. What's up, Nick? I have to give up my Tunic here, but, like, I thought the Revel would trigger. Oops. Think I need to block here. Give up my Tunic, unfortunately. Imagine thinking I know how Vynnset works. All right, we got the creepers, so she can't cheat action points anymore unless she finds the other shadow puppetry. It's like, maybe we're okay. Unfortunately, don't have a D-react. This Phantom Banshee does have Go Again. Also has Overpower. Yeah, so I just die. I don't have the reaction to cover it. Yeah, this was not a good game. I piloted it poorly. I attacked Vynnset, which I'm not supposed to do. Yeah, just had to get out of my Vyn pass 2 turns in a row this game. They were up to something and it paid off. You're playing Redline Assassin into Vyn. You just lose TVH. Assassin's primary win con is Fatigue. So the deck has 5, 8, 10. It has a reasonable number into KO. I want to go second. It has a reasonable number of non-reds in the deck. I can board in D-reacts. Like, it is not terrible. And I beat a Vynnset on Monday by fatiguing her. That Vynnset didn't play nearly as well as this Vynnset did. but I also played poorly into this Vynnset. Like, attacking Vynnset is just wrong. I should never attack Vynnset. Maybe only attack with attack actions that don't banish. There's that. I also just want her to get stuck on D-reacts. That's a big thing. All right, into new KO. What am I doing? I need to be converting. Am I playing D-reacts here? What if I didn't play creep and I just played 6 D-reacts? Let's give that a shot. I don't know why seeing you called John surprised me. I guess Lupine couldn't be your real name. Sharp, the first time I met Agroblaze in person, he asked me if my real name was Lupinefiasco. I'm like, no. This is terrible. This is a terrible opening hand. Not attacking at all into Vynnset doesn't sound like a winning strategy. Good Vynnset knows how to stack a big turn to push through with infinite space. The problem, this game, I am going to lose this game. KO had the excellent turn 0 high roll with Sigil of Solace, and my opening hand did nothing. This hand is only slightly better. It's fine, Ian. I'm registered by my real name on Gem. So not attacking into Vynnset, the reason I would not attack into Vynnset is that I don't want to let her use her defense reactions. I want defense reactions to clog her hand and arsenal because that prevents her from setting up. What if I blocked 5? I do double trouble, flick, spike, close chain, spinneret. Yeah, that seems reasonable. We just shelter here. Honestly, Agroblaze is another dude who I knew can't be his real name, but it feels wrong to call him anything else. I know his real name is Zach. I don't know his last name, but I like to imagine there's a Mr. and Mrs. Fiasco out in the world and they unironically decided to name their son Lupine. I get, you know, in a world of infinite possibilities, that could be true. I don't think I get absolutely screwed by Fleshbag here, but it wouldn't be great. All right, Double Trouble's online. Let's see how many D-Reacts KO has. If the answer is none, then we're doing okay. If the answer is 1, it's fine. RKO against Slippy Marionette plays more aggressively. Ooh, I don't mind getting that off the top. Oh, right, you're also going to gain 3 because Fiddler's Green is a real card. Ugh. If they're playing aggressively, then I'm glad I boarded defensively. I just wish that my opening hand hadn't had 2 shelters and 2 shelters, a spinneret, and a reaction in it that I just can't use. Sounds like something you need to do when you get married. You both change your name to Fiasco. I know a couple who changed their last name when they got hitched. What am I supposed to do here? Fiddler's Green is such an annoying card, I would ban it. It's banned in Sage. Do I take 5 here and do what? Send Meat Madness, send Horrors, at some point Flick a Calicera, Orb Weaver, Tunic's Calicera, T-Tox? I guess? I think I'm also playing this game too aggressively. I have no Codex of Inertia. What should I put instead? Probably Double Trouble? Or not Double Trouble, Art of Desire Body, like any of the stealth attacks. Oh, right, I can just get Codex, Tunic here. Yeah, I'm losing this game. I feel like our KO had a pretty decent draw, and my turns have just not been good. I'm also willing to admit that this is a bad matchup, which I think is probably just the case. This is going to be 10. Only catching one live, go Lupine. Thank you, JHC. This game is not going well. Imagine a world where CYP, Sigil Assaults, and Fiddler's Green were all unbanned. I probably just wouldn't play Fab. Like, this deck would be insanely good. What would the best CY deck be currently? Jarl? Like, I think Life Gain Fatigue would just be a really good deck, and I don't want to play that. Going to be 10, yeah, Pink Robin Fab. That was, I should have put the KO on that with the Tunic. I just didn't. I don't know that Slippy can beat KO a lot of the time. The more I'm thinking about this matchup, it's one of those defensive Guardian type matchups that Slippy really needs bonds to get through so that you can actually like tear apart their deck, take advantage of the low reaction count. As it is, I'm just sending damage and KO's saying, cool, I have a bunch of armor, I have a bunch of D-reacts, I have life gain where it matters. Like putting a Fiddler's Green in front of a Clave is just backbreaking. I lost this matchup having tempo the whole game, then drawing a hand with CNC and 3 reacts and lost all the tempo and never got back into it. I think this has got to be just a very difficult matchup. Did my, Is Talishar broken? Is anyone else having... Oh, there we go. My Talishar just is laggy or doesn't want to load. Anytime this happens, I pop over to the Talishar Discord and just see if anyone else is having problems. Talishar's acting up? Yeah, that... My internet connection is pretty solid, so... RKO runs 12D reacts, it's hard to crack through as a reaction-based deck, yeah. Yeah, it seems to not be doing... well. I'm gonna T-Tox CNC. I think I did this wrong. I think I was supposed to let the Meat Madness go through and then T-Tox either one of the equipment. Looks like Fabry is down 2. Not Fabry. No, my Fabry's up. According to the Talishar Discord, it is not down, it's just slow. So that's not good. The fact that CNC has... The CC has 12 044 D-reacts doesn't sit well with me. Oh, I totally agree. A Pinio card. Hey, oh, it was from deck. Damn it. I 100% agree with you. I think that... God, I've harped on this before, and I'll harp on it again. Why did I think this would have go again? This was a bad line. Or, I mean, it was a fine line. Yes, so in... What was it? Before Hunted was Rosetta. And Aurora was a problem. And people were talking about, like, what do we ban to rein in Aurora? Well, you ban Flicker Wisp, because Flicker Wisp is what lets her get through the defensive decks. And my argument was, but think about why she needs to get through the defensive decks. Because there are just so many 0 for 4 defense reactions. So my thought was, you ban Flicker Wisp, you ban Sink Below, you ban Fate Foreseen. Like, these cards that just aren't necessary anymore. Like, defensive decks have grown up to the point that they don't need Sink and Fate anymore. Also, look at what Aurora has to do to put 0 for 4 generic attacks that refund your action point together. Deck building restrictions with Ravenous Rabble, lower life total of Scar for a Scar, ban the 0 for 4 D-reacts. And then they printed Shelter from the Storm, which means we're never banning the 0 for 4 D-reacts. I hate it. Speaking of things I hate, How do I win this game? Because I'm pretty sure I don't anymore. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I lose this game. And there's like absolutely nothing I can do about it. And that's kind of... This was the first RKO game I played with Slippy, and I'm a pretty strong... I have a strong feeling now that Slippy just can't win that matchup if the RKO draws reasonably well. Like, draws at all decently. Yes, cooked at this point. They also... I don't even want to say that, like, they started strong. They just had... That seemed like a normal start. Into Rhinar, we're going to board like you're an aggro deck. There's also the game designer in me speaking, but I think flavor-wise it doesn't make sense for these big walls of decks to have such nimble defenses. I agree with that as well. This hand just sends some daggers. Where do you think Slippy will end up in the meta? Maybe not top 8, but possibly bubble. At this point, I feel like Slippy probably... I think it's going to depend a lot on your local meta. At a calling scene, if Slippy can figure out the Marionette matchup, then... I think I want to get this mark out of my hand. I know there's damage prevention, but let's just get the mark out. In a calling meta, or like a tier 4, if Slippy can figure out the Marionette matchup, then it might be okay. I think in a local scene, it's going to depend a lot on what your locals are doing. If you have a defensive local scene, I think Slippy can't win. There's so many matchups that Slippy could only win in the high seas meta because of bonds. Victor was a great example. You get there on reactions, and so you need to have attacks that go over the top of what Victor is blocking with. But you also needed a way to counter Victor's value from drawing cards from the gold. And so that was what Bonds was for. Double Trouble's not going to do it. I think that Slippy could very easily just not have a place in this meta. I have a fundamental issue with Revival the Talent. Getting more power from being higher life turns into a pretty snowball game. It's really hard to catch back up against RKO if they get a life lead. Talishar is going down. Yeah, Talishar has been not great for me. Our last game was a little laggy. I'm going to sink, and I'm going to sink this Horrors. Try to find some action. And now I just have 2 Infects in hand. I'll block with one of them if I can. I suppose I get to. This is fine. My turn is going to be Infect, Arsenal, Shelter. I guess you're basically always at a disadvantage against Assassin, given Slippy's text, unless we get an Assassin that doesn't play stealth cards. Do you think that Blue Slippy is worth exploring? What does Blue Slippy do? Oh, 10-minute warning before Talishar goes down for maintenance. Thank you, Age of Sworn. Appreciate it. So it's going to go down at 9. Well, I guess at 9 we can... Hey, Saw. And server down for about 10 minutes. Age of Sworn, do you have an ETA on it going back up? Like, is it going down for, I don't know, 10 minutes and then I can just kill that amount of time and then keep playing? Or if it's going down for like an hour? It would appear that Rhinar is about to do something dumb. Thank you for maintaining Talishar. Hey, Steven. Hey, it's a Sash turn. Well, I have a Codex of Frailty. Bear Destruction. When this attacks, if you've beaten chest this turn, and you don't control the chest equipment, this gets Go Again, and the next Brute attack action card you play this turn gets +2. This is coming in for 8 Go Again? It's coming in for 6 Go Again? Is that good? Oh, probably around 5 minutes? Cool. This is my first time seeing this card. I guess it really depends on what Reinhardt is doing with the other. Okay. That was a turn. Does this Codex of Frailty do anything for me currently? No, because I have Shroud, not Tunic. I guess I could just block 9 and arsenal this Codex. That's reasonable. I've seen 3 send packings from my opponent. Some are stuck maintaining games that didn't close properly or something. Okay, thank you for the update. I can just, hey, we did this thing. I can just pad for 5 minutes until Talishar comes back up, then keep jamming games for all of you. Believe you can play CNC after playing daggers, care less about marking and more about life gain on hits using creepers. I have not seen anything with life gain Slippy yet beyond knowing that it exists. I would be interested to know more. Someone else said something. Oh, it was Mosered. Yes and no. You are at a disadvantage against assassins because they have your hero power, but they are not built to use your hero power. So like, I'm just doing the thing. So like, Marionette, for example, back in the High Seas meta, was an interesting game because you would look at Slippy Marionette and say, well, Slippy's going to lose this because Marionette gets all your attacks. And yes, the Marionette turns were very good, especially when they had Agents of Chaos. Because they could, Black Widow could send Kiss of Death, which would get go again, and they wouldn't need to worry about hitting to use Black Tech. But what would also end up happening is that, oh, this might be it. Okay, well, the page isn't working. I was told I had 10 minutes, so either Aegis Warden's a fucking liar, or this is a different issue. Sad. Well, sorry, so let me finish my thought, and then I'll address Talishar, and then an Aegis Warden being a fucking liar, and then, hey, it's back up. So, like the Marionette Slippy game, they would have these great spike turns based on your hero power, but the other thing was they would draw so many hands that were like, stealth attack, 3 reactions. Stealth attack, 2 reactions, blue. Because their deck wasn't built to do that. They never had... Whoa. I am Reinhardt now. But I can't see what my hand is. I think the 10 minutes started 5 minutes before you got the 10-minute message. You could be right. Maybe I'm just dumb. So you'd have these Marionette turns that were... Because they never wanted 2 stealth attacks in the same hand because that isn't what their hero did. So you would have these turns where, yes, the Marionette did broken things, but usually they didn't. New was the same way. New just had the, like, upside lines of, hey, here's a blue Bonds of Attraction that has go again now, and, like, it's 1, maybe I gain 2. So it was fine. I don't know. I don't really see it being a huge problem that Huntsman and Marionette are in the meta. I see it being more of an issue that Marionette deals more damage than Slippy with basically the same amount of disruption. So, like, just play that hero instead. Huntsman is doing a totally different thing. I'm just going to go to the home page. We'll just wait. Oh, I can... There's a rejoin feature now? That's pretty cool. That's new. Interesting. I'm just going to E-Strike for 7 and then flick my Kiss. Mario benefits because Callisto gets go again without needing Mark. That too. My point is just, like, I don't think Slippy is going to suffer because... How do I do the thing? I don't like this. Oh, no, this is the right board step. Anyway, I don't think Slippy's going to suffer because Marionette is in the meta and taking its power. I think Slippy's going to suffer because Marionette's a better deck. Just does more damage. That may no longer be true with the bans. I have heard multiple Marionette players saying that they are in a fine position. I am not expecting Marionette's equity to go down. I keep drawing these hands that don't work with Codex Death Touch, and I don't have good cards in my graveyard if I'm not Codex Death Touching. If it's Dagger Mario, most would be using Helmet early to guarantee an early Calycera. Yeah, I've heard that too. Guess I'm waiting. I'll take this damage and just wait for the next thing to see if I need to block that. And also break my balance. Alright, so Strength Rules All does not destroy my arsenal. Jesus. My cards just don't do anything. Codexing for Death Touch is like terrible when I just don't draw blues and don't have a Calycera. Maybe I wasn't supposed to block with the Take Up the Mantle. Maybe that's what's getting me here. I'll just block 8 and wait, I guess. I don't know. This was not good. Blocking with the Mantle, I think, was a mistake. I was supposed to hold more cards. I also just haven't found a blue for Clave Codex Death Touch, which is what I'm, like, waiting to do. Thank you, Matt. Also, my Rhinar just keeps getting 2 action points with fucking Scab Skins. Ugh. Like with E-Strike, I guess. Finally found the blue, so I get to do it. Yeah, we're just waiting. Yeah, I am in a Codex for Death Touch here. Now I get to do Clave Codex Death Touch with a blue. It just would have been nice if the Rhinar hadn't, you know, rolled a 5. Does this do anything for me? I have to block this. I can Clave. Man, this is awkward. If he's using Scabs just to get Claw and he's not in the best spot. Yeah, but he keeps hitting. It'd be different if he didn't keep hitting. God, again, the Spinneret just does nothing. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to Shelter. But last turn, couldn't you pitch T-Tox Codex to Clave? Yeah, no, you're right. I could have done that. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right. Oh, whatever. I'm not paying attention anymore. I'm just so shaken by the fact that I missed the line last turn to Codex Death Touch because I forgot that you could just overpitch. Also, now Talishar is probably down. Because it's 9 o'clock, and this is when they said it would go down. Okay. I can see it isn't even going to go through. Yeah. No, you're all absolutely right. I should have just taken the damage, pitched the red and the yellow to Clave, and then Codex. I've just forgot that I can do that. It's been a minute since I've had to take the overpitch line for anything that wasn't CNC, so I'm not recognizing it. Yeah, this is the down. Thank you, Aegisworn. Cool. So now we wait 5 minutes-ish, and then hopefully it comes back up, which is a great opportunity for me to tell all of you gathered here what the channel update is. It's not exciting, really. It's Saved by the Bell. No, you all know where this game was going. You all saw what was happening. I can't lie to all of you. You know that I was not playing that game correctly. So far, Slippy has not felt good today. Future Classic constructed. Whoa. So the channel update is not exciting or really big, and I think many of you won't even notice that it's happening. Basically, I'm feeling burned out on Fab. I love streaming, feeling burned out on Fab. So I'm taking the last 2 weeks of December and not streaming Fab. There will be Fab content on my channel. I'm going to take VODs and cut them from my streams and post them as individual videos. So if you missed those games, you'll get to see them, or I'll put up the Dio Slippy game from earlier this week and you can see how I played that matchup and almost got there. And I might put up this Vynnset game and see how I didn't get there, and based on, kind of misplaying the game. But the meta stream Arc Raiders on Twitch with me. I can't do it, Nico. I'm not an FPS guy. I'm going to be streaming Hades 2 because I think it's a fantastic game. I've been playing it in the... are we back up? I've been playing Hades 2 in my off time. I want to stream that. It's really fun, and I'm really looking forward to, experimenting with a game that I can't just, look over at stream every time. Oh, we're going to lose this game. I can't just look over at stream. I have to actually pay attention to what I'm doing. This is interesting between Black Tech and Stalker Steps because we do need to block Arakni. I think I'm bringing in Black Tech for the persuasive prognosis. So I'm streaming Hades 2. I'm going to maintain my streaming schedule because I really like streaming. So Monday, Thursday, Friday, starting at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be playing Hades 2 for 2 hours-ish. I'm going to start a new campaign so that anyone who isn't familiar with the game can jump in from the start and follow along with, we get updates on what's happening, hear new mechanics and whatever. And as opposed to me jumping in on night 30 where I am on the account that I'm playing now and hey, here's all this stuff that you have to catch up on. I've been meaning to grab games from my Twitch streams and upload them, but New Year's resolutions just dropped. So that's what I'm doing instead of streaming Fab. I'm anticipating that I'm just going to be off for 2 weeks while I recharge. Honestly, the last meta lasted too long. It was 6 months of high seas meta, but I don't even think that's what it was. I just played Cindra for 3 months, and that deck is really fucking boring to play. Coming from Aurora, who's the most dynamic aggro deck I've ever played, into Slippy, who is a lot less dynamic than Aurora and has, kind of scripted play lines, but even then, still has some interesting decisions to make, to Aurora, which is 3-3-4-4, 3-3-4 flick 4, 3-3-3 flick 4, 3-3 flick 4. The turns just, it's so fucking boring to play Cindra. And I did it for too long and I don't want to do it anymore. I burned out on it. So while you recharge, just a hint that you're coming back a Bolton main. Play Marvel Rivals 2. I'm just not an FPS guy. I've been told I should play Marvel Snap, which I would probably be more interested in doing. But yeah, I've just been playing too much Cindra, so I'm taking a break. Again, 2 weeks. You're going to have content on the channel that you can watch. I don't think any of you are even really going to notice. Do I want to block with Kiss of Death, and if I draw Mantle, I get to do the broken thing? Maybe this is my time. All I need to do is draw Mantle. All right, well, now it's not going to work. I'm going to give equipment here, which is maybe ill-advised. But I want to, if this is a snatch, I don't want to block with this persuasive. All right, it's a lava burst. I would not have gotten punished. So I'm going to be playing Hades 2. When I get back, should have been on the blue Cinder list. Only goal is to hit with a Devotion Never Dies. Yeah, I could have seen that. What about FPS isn't your cup of tea? Oh, sorry, Marvel Rivals is... Yeah. I know what Rivals is. What about FPS isn't my cup of tea? I don't have the fast twitch reflexes that I would need to really be good at an FPS. I don't have the reaction times necessary for that. I mean, watch me play Hades 2. I also don't have the reaction times to play that game well. But I try anyway. Always supportive of taking breaks. Mantle is the coolest card. So many weird-ass interactions. It's even worse with horrors. So yeah, taking a little break. Hoping to be back in 2 weeks. This is fine. They timed it wrong. They should have done this in response to the flick knives, but that's okay. My only goal was to clear my dagger slot so I could play this Spinneret, and then I'm going to T-Tox the Graphene. And when I'm back at the end of 2 weeks, in time for RTN season, I'll even be, I have a little Slippy Armory deck, Arakni Armory deck that I'm going to do a giveaway for when I'm back to convince you all to rejoin me after many of you disengage because I'm not playing Fab anymore. Slow reaction speed, perfect Jarl player. FPS make me feel like an old man now, in my teens or 20s anymore. I was never a good FPS player. The most I did was I played Heroes of the Storm when that was a real game. And I would play tanks so that I didn't have to react very quickly. I just had to stand in people's way. Pain in the backside. What are you? You're an Orb Weaver Spinneret? What am I doing this turn? I am not blocking the pain. My line is going to be play Spinneret, send Kiss, send Infect, flick the Kiss, Arsenal Death Touch? Any plans to come to the Bay Area for some RTNs? I'd like to. Yeah, I am hoping to. I want to get out and play more RTNs. I feel like I've been kind of disconnected from the community over the past few seasons. And so I want to, play more RTNs. Do I care about taking 4 here? Not really. I'd rather just do more damage. Arc Raiders is third person. You can play with the 0-3s. But I'm also bad at shooting games. Anything fast twitch, I don't have the reflexes for. I am surprised that she didn't use the vest to pick up this dagger. Do this, do this. I feel your pain. I'm replaying StarCraft these days. I suck then, but luckily I suck now as well. I can't imagine playing StarCraft as a 35-year-old man who didn't have good reflexes to begin with. Weird that Cindra didn't flick. It isn't weird that she didn't flick because she only had 2 Draconic Links on the chain, and she didn't want to use the vest. Now, I think it was wrong for her not to use the vest. I think she should have flicked, bought a resource, through with Burning Blade Dance, and then bought back both daggers, but who am I to judge? This hand gets to do a silly line. I get to Kiss of Death, Shroud, Spike into... Is there anything better I can do with this? I can take up into a Prognosis if I want to stop Cindra from doing something. But I think what I might do instead is block with Infiltrate at some point. I can do Kiss, Pitch, Spike, Death Touch, flick the Kiss. We need the Lupinefiasco Dark Souls run. I'm gonna fucking die. I will never get past the first boss. I'll be heading down the mountain to try to get my invite. Yeah, Garth, hopefully we see you at some SAC events. That would be fun. I think I'm probably just letting Cindra draw here and keeping the take up. I mean, I could also just block this. I don't know. This turn does pretty insane damage if everything hits. I feel like I have the life lead to do this. I don't need to use my Shroud or my Whisperers for this. I want the Lupine Retro Gamer stream appeal to the Boomer Gamer. Boomer Gamer? What game would you want me to play, Ian? Who am I to judge a good Cindra player? Honestly, I'm not. Could never be me. What is happening? I forgot how many triggers Cindra has. I look away and I'm like, how is it still this same step? Need to play more RTNs. I also need to play better decks. Prism is in a fine spot, right? Yeah, I feel like I'm a little disconnected from the NorCal community, so I would like to play more RTNs. Yeah, that's part of why I'm taking the break now. I wish I had started a break from Fab earlier. Like, streams have been popping off. I am super thankful that all of you are here. All 76 of you. We've had a great stream so far. We got still 50 minutes left. This does not make me want to block any more than I already did. I'm super thankful that you're all here. So I'm glad that I've been streaming, but man, I do wish that I had started my break from Fab a little earlier. Just so I would know that I'm like set for RTN season. If nothing else, I will be set for Calling San Diego, because that's my next event. Breaking the chain. Oh, you're just gonna Arsenal? Nice. I feel like our opponent misplayed at some point this turn, but I don't know. How much does this line do? This is 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 19. This is a 21 damage turn cycle, assuming everything hits, which I know it won't because that would kill Cindra. So I'm guessing she won't let everything hit. Timing is panning out well for me for once. What's that, Moza Red? I think Prism might suffer with KO Rise. I could see it. Worst case, you're set for Worlds 2026. So what's nice is that Nationals has a calling attached to it. If for whatever reason I get to January 1st, decide I'm still burned out and don't want to play Fab, I could skip National season, not RTN season, not qualify for Nats, and then just go to Mini with the boys anyway and play the calling while they're all in Nats. It wouldn't be the worst thing. I don't want to do that. I want to play RTNs, but worst case, it's just I just take more time off. Also, my super local RTNs are in weeks 3 and 4, so I could take 2 more weeks off in January and still not have to drive 2 hours to play an RTN. Would be so set. If Compendium isn't introducing a new hero, I also feel I need a very long break from Fab, so I feel you. I get that. I think they're going to be fine without a new hero. It depends on how good Silver Age is as a format. Sink Below is reasonable. We are still going to get the second Blood Rot from the Kiss of Death, and we're getting the Kiss of Death triggers, so opponent effectively at 6. But that is a well-timed Sink Below. What it means for me is that blocking the Mask trigger is pretty good. I only have to block on 1 chain link. And it is not this chain link. Can't believe Northern Nevada didn't get any RTNs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Alex. That sucks. Hunt to the Ends of Wraith. That's such a good card. I wish you hadn't done that. What am I doing? You're at 6. So T-Tox actually is relevant as Shred. Did they say COR is draftable? I don't believe Compendium is draftable. It would surprise me if it was. I'm pretty sure it is not. You're going to vest because this costs a resource, which is why you didn't play it. The question is, what is it? Which Art of the Dragon is it? If it's fire, that's pretty bad for me. Okay, Hunt the Hunter's fine. I'm marked, which is a little tragic. I get to do block, block, block. What is my turn going to be? My turn is going to be Meat Madness into Infect with the Razor's Edge for Infect. Yeah, Pen is not a draftable set. It has a bunch of cards in it, but it is a supplemental set. Draftable with the new limited only Shianas who can play any card from the game. I'm just going to let the Meat Madness go. If you're not blocking this, top of deck. Hey, did something, you know? I'm going to flick here, and I think it's going to be Graphene. Surely you have a D-React. Do you have 2 D-Reacts? Surely you were supposed to block. I guess I'm not going to flick because I just don't need to. Right now I need to. Maybe you should have Razor's Edge the Meat Madness. I expected that she had a D-React. I wanted to Razor's Edge the Infect because that was more damage. If the Infect hits, I instantly get an extra 2 damage because of the Blood Rot. Anyone know what the fuck Slippy is as far as lore goes? I've been curious about that as well. When I first saw it, I thought it was like some sort of malevolent computer program. That's just how I envision, like, this is what the art says to me. I'm going to lose this game. I think I put on Steps, not Black Tech, for Fang, who has armor and D-Reacts. This was already a bad matchup when Slippy had Bonds, and I have to imagine it's worse now. If they have D-React, they block 3 on Infect and then add the D-React. Yeah. You're probably right. I mean, she was supposed to give me Mask and Boots there. I don't know. I could see it going either way. I think you're probably right. I was supposed to Razor's Edge for lethal to force the D-React and then get the Infect. Hey, it's a really good card that showed up a little too early. Just want them to reprint Icelander? Absolutely not. No. I'm marked. That's bad for me. At least I get to block this. If I block 7, you can still get there. I think I block like this. And if they have the D-React, I can shelter. What are you doing? Buff power? Brings you to 8. I'll shelter it. I'm assuming the follow-up is a Fire Vein. I'm going to put Codex in front of it. And then Fang hits me. I could give Prey Spotters and Red back to play around a 0 for 3. Wait, no, I can't. Yeah, I just do this. I just do this. Fang has the reaction. I get unmarked, and they get a fealty. Oh, never mind. So what is this? D-React? This hand is a hand. I don't know if I'm supposed to shroud this, depending on how Fang blocks it. Reminds me of the bad guy from Samurai Jack. Good morning, Discreet. I can't unsee it as EVA01. I'm just going to pitch T-Tox to Spike. I'm assuming Fang has D-Reacts. Question is, does he have 2? There's 1. I guess I could have also just not reacted on the Infiltrate. Yeah, I would have connected with this. I don't know. I think using my Shroud without having blocked with it first would have been a mistake. This is about how I'm expecting this game to go so far, which is meh. This hand does some cool things. This is where I will be cashing in Shroud if I can. I would like to block with Shroud so that I can Kiss, Shroud, Spike, Leave No, Flick, Kiss. What do you do if you didn't react on the Infiltrate? If I don't react on the Infiltrate, I would have used my... I don't react on the Infiltrate. They play Sync. I T-Tox the Sync. They play Smoke Out. I now have the option of breaking red back to spike the Infiltrate to get over the Smoke Out. It basically means I'm cashing in my Shroud so that I can play both reactions. The better player hand right there. This hand is pretty sick. I can play the Spinneret if I want to. I can also keep it and just put an extra 3 on Kiss of Death. It's unfortunate that I still have 2 Claves. It's like always the tension with Slippy. Am I supposed to flick a Clave as soon as possible to clear up a slot? Block with that, block with Shroud. Hopefully our opponent arsenals this card, so that Leave No Witnesses has text. Nice. At the same time, Mosered, if I had used the Shroud on that Infiltrate turn, I wouldn't have gotten to use it on the Kiss of Death turn, and this is a much better turn for breaking Shroud. Shroud Spike Kiss, such a nasty line. Shroud Spike, in general, is a nasty line. With Kiss, you get to push 2 Blood Rots. With Double Trouble, you get an extra 2 power. You just get really good 2-card hands with Spike Shroud. Let's see whether our opponent has another D-React. Hopefully, if they do, or if they do, hopefully it comes from hand, not arsenal. I would like Leave No Witnesses to have text, especially since opponent already gave some armor. Predicted. I'm still a freak for toxicity for that reason. It's wild with Kiss. Maybe that's what Slippy needs to be doing, is leaning into the Kiss lines. Sans bonds. This man's a genius. I always outplayed and outskilled. Don't pay any attention to the games that I lost earlier today because I misplayed many times. Toxicity, Kiss, T-Tox, any attack and flick is such a blow up out of nowhere. It's true. But it does take setup. It's one of those like, well, if you're setting up this line, why not just play a Cilio or Dio, whose setup is a lot easier and with a bigger payoff? I think Slippy is pulling me away from playing Gravy. My locals appreciate it. I think Gravy is a very fun deck for someone who isn't me. I don't know. I don't jive with Gravy the same way. Sure, I get another card from you. Have another Blood Rot. Games lost sounds like fake news to me. Yeah, don't pay attention to those. The stream started with that Cindra game. Alright, taking cards off our opponent feels good. Eventually they are going to hit us, so that's a shame. We already blocked with a Codex. We have 2 left. Thankfully, we finally have a Leave No Witnesses in our graveyard. This hand is not very good. But hey, we aren't marked. I would like to block with this double trouble and then just send double infect with shelter. Cut from the same cloth is a pretty solid card against a reaction-based deck. What do you think's in Arsenal? I thought it was a D-react, but we haven't seen one yet. So, and I thought it was a reaction. It's gotta be like, oh, it's Pledge Fealty. I was about to say it is the 0 for 4 that makes a fealty if the opponent is marked. I guess that would have been wrong because they would have played it last turn. It was a Pledge Fealty. It's not what I put them on. All right, so they get 2 fealty. If this is dagger, well, it's not dagger 1 cost react. If this is dagger's affirm loyalty, then we are not in a good spot. Maybe I was supposed to shelter that. Infiltrate actually has good targets to hit in Fang. It's true. That is a pretty good card. I'm going to shelter it. Opponent is going to Obsidian Fire Vein me. I'm going to block with Prey Spotters. I end the turn marked, but they don't start their turn with 3 fealties. Ain't nothing pulling me off Gravy. Gravy's in a great spot. I'm talking to Gravy players, and they all think that the deck is still, like, very good, which I agree with. Just a little double infiltrate. I'm kind of assuming we just get 3 block, 3 block, or like 3 block, 2 block plus Dynamo. Put Fang on a 2-card hand. I marked and probably can't keep him off of hitting me. We've seen 3 shelters, so we still have 3 sinks. We could maybe stall a little bit longer. I kind of don't really know what else I'm doing this game. Like, where is my damage coming from? I have Prey Spotters. I have 2 stains left. I just need to be doing something. How are you feeling about the new Slippy equipment? I feel good about it so far. I'm still testing Prey Spotters, but so far it's been pretty okay. Stalker Steps is just a direct upgrade to Widowweb Crawler. I'm playing Black Tech for like Cindra and Assassin, but I think you could very easily just not play Black Tech and get a slot back. Any deck that has the ability to play 9 Belittle should still feel very good. Gravy do be pretty wild. I'm gonna flick here. I just have a feeling that I would like my opponent to be marked. Oh no, they got the overcrowded? Yeah. Suddenly, Codex Leave No Witnesses looks much worse. Hey, we found a Take Up the Mantle. We can take up into... I can take up into Double Trouble if I'm just trying to push a bunch of damage. I can also take up into Infect. So I get to do Prog, take up Razor's Edge. This is pretty... bad? So Saver is just +4 here. This Blaze Headlong is going to take my mark. Okay, you're attacking with the Fire Vein. If I'm playing around the knowledge that my opponent has a Blaze Headlong in hand, then I could block this. I'm going to play under the assumption that I don't know what my opponent is doing and just let them hit. So they don't have an action point. This didn't have go again, and they don't have a way to give it go again before it matters. But I think it was a pretty good assumption that my opponent had an attack reaction in hand. Just a 0-cost Draconic reaction. Part of me wants to do shenanigans and mainboard 3 whalers. You're a monster. Wow. This was... Give me do we have a... Give my opponent an okay. This was an insane draw off the top of their deck. I guess it was really like any reaction off the top, or any instant off the top would have been good, but like... Tooth was the best reaction they could have found off the top. That's pretty nuts. Wow. That's pretty ridiculous. They found the exact card that they needed off the top. Jesus. Better lucky than good, right? It's possible I was supposed to block with this Leave No Witnesses because my opponent doesn't have an arsenal. I can take up into Infiltrate is probably the highest value line I have. I could also just not take up into anything. Let the Prognosis hit. Kind of depends on what my opponent's doing. I could also take up into Double Trouble, which just pushes the most damage. So I can Razor's Edge. Take up does not get me to 8. So I can't just leave the Prognosis. So what am I taking the higher damage play or the higher... I think I'm taking the higher value play. Though I do need to see... No, I'm supposed to take Double Trouble. It's more damage. The problem with Infiltrate is if I hit a dagger reaction, it prices me into sending a dagger, which I don't think I want to do. Yeah, I would have hit a Savor Bloodshed, which would have then priced me into either drawing Kiss or attacking with a dagger. And those are not things I want to do. As one of my favorite locals says, should have blocked, said sarcastically when there's nothing you can do about it. Blocking there doesn't even help me. Like, it stops that from happening. I only block with the knowledge that my opponent doesn't have a reaction. It also means that I can't... The prog just doesn't do anything. Like, I block with Leave No Witnesses and Razor's Edge. I play prog, opponent blocks 4 or 7... And I guess I just Arsenal the take up. Infiltrate does last until the end of my next turn. So we'll see what I draw. If I draw like a blue, then I guess I'm... If I draw a blue or a Kiss, then I'm the worst player who's ever lived. If I don't draw a blue or a Kiss, then it was objectively the right choice. Opponent, please. This is short material. Look at that. I would have drawn a. I would have drawn a yellow. It would have worked. I would have done Play Saver. The problem is my opponent isn't marked. I have the Prey Spotters. It just depends on how they block the Clave. What am I doing with this hand? E-Strike here is kind of awkward. I can Horrors, Prey Spotters, take up Stains if I wanted to. One more Leave No Witnesses hit and you can get back the chest. Like, actually, though. Thank you all 100 of you who are here. I'm going to miss you all next week when I'm not playing Fab, when I'm playing Hades 2. If I can hit double-digit concurrent viewers on a Hades 2 stream, I will feel good about it. Is this me? Am I lagging? Am I the problem? Maybe. I could also see Talishar being the problem. I'm told server maintenance is complete. Opponent? Are you there? There we go. So I have this E-Strike, which is a little awkward. So what I can do is Horrors, Prey Spotters, take up into Kiss for 7 into E-Strike bottom Stains for a total of 14 damage. Hades 2 is out. Hades 2 has been out for some time. I can also... I can just block with the E-Strike. Horror's Prey Spotter. I guess the highest value line is Horror's Prey Spotter take up into Double Trouble. And then E-Strike for 7. Or I guess E-Strike for 5 even. That makes sense. Horrors into Prey. Mantle into Double Trouble for 11. Is it 11? Should only be 8. Because I can't stains. I have to keep the stains for E-Strike. And I think if I'm E-Striking, I'm probably just drawing a card. Searing Gaze. Acceptable. So I send 13 damage and park an Arsenal. I believe is my highest value line. Without having to jump through hoops. I could do... It also depends on how my opponent blocks. But I do think I'm probably doing Double Trouble here. Had math from last time with Razor's Edge in the brain. If the E-Strike was like a stealth attack, like what I think it maybe could be, then this would be a much better turn. I would get to like go into Kiss and then stains it and then, you know, or play like Art of Dagger or Desire Bot. Like it'd be a better turn. This is making me look at E-Strike like, what if you were a stealth attack? How's your day? Happy testing? Hello, hey young Cheng. Testing, oh, I don't have a Double Trouble anymore, lol. Great, we're taking Kiss. Testing is going fine. Slippy definitely feels fine. It's not the best thing. I've had some rough games, but it's fine. Wow. Am I the best player who's ever played to find the single card in my deck that can only be played from Arsenal off of an E-Strike draw? But yeah, no, Slippy's feeling fine so far. Ooh, opponent's going for it. We've seen one Hunt's End. Is there a reason to run Slippy instead of Mario in the current meta? Probably not. I think the thing that Slippy does best that Marionette doesn't is have a reasonable gravy matchup. But I think that's it. And the more like other heroes that I play into that I feel bad against makes me think, yeah, just don't play Slippy. What am I doing on my turn? I am going to pitch to Clave. I'm going to Meat Madness, pitch to Clave, Double Trouble, Flick Steps, Death Touch. So I want to block with Prognosis. The question, my opponent didn't block. They still have armor. They're at 8. I found that both of them still have not okay gravy matchups. Yeah, like I think Slippy is probably slightly better, but neither one feels good. If it's any indication how I feel about Slippy, I'm registering KO at my RTNs. Now that KO also... KO's gravy matchup is also kinda bad. This is 4. I've seen 2 Hunt's Ends. This puts me to 9. I'm kind of banking on you not being able to kill me. And me getting to do cool things. Let's see if that's the case. This puts me to 6. That's a plan for Marionette. KO is a good pick. What's the plan for Marionette as Slippy or as KO? As Slippy, I still need to put much more testing into that. I think we might be playing Mask of Deceit in that one. Ooh, how do I feel about going to 2? I go to 2. I am presenting, give you the thinking. I am presenting 3, 4, 9, 10, 16, possibly 18 damage. You will have 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to give me 2 cards. I'm going to go to 2. I'm going to play risky with it. I did banish a Hunt Send. You could try to fatigue Gravy as KO. I think KO has too many non-blocks for that to work. All right, let's see if opponent's a gamer. Do you attempt? Do you block the Meat Madness, or do you just pray that I don't hit the 33%? Yes, play the Gravy Bones. I think KO has too many non-blocks to fatigue Gravy. You can definitely go for it. All right, you're giving me, yeah, the 3 armor. That makes sense. If the Death Touch hits, I don't know what I'm supposed to take. We've seen 2 Tooths. Hunt Send is definitely a problem. All right, let's see what you do about the Double Trouble. I think I'm probably supposed to take Fealty on Death Touch if it hits. But I do not feel good about my chance to win this game. The ripping the tooth off the top of the Saver Draw was pretty backbreaking. It was about as bad as it could have possibly been. All right, if you're blocking 5, I am not going to flick. I am going to step. These overcrowdeds have been pretty good. I know there's a blue 3 block, so I'm not like, wow, that's insane. All right, our opponent does need to give us 1 card on the Death Touch, or else I can just flick and kill them. What am I supposed to give? If they de-react, there's the sink. Do you have a second one? I think I'm supposed to give Frailty so that I can 1 card block a Fire Vein. If they have the Hunt Send, I die. Oh my god. Opponent with the double D-React hand on a turn where I'm trying to kill them is pretty backbreaking. I also have no daggers, which is, you know, kind of okay. This hand is garbage. I say no blocks and sink the Codex and just pray that I find a stealth attack. Jesus. Yeah, I'm very dead. Codex is almost okay, except that our opponent has 2 overcrowdeds. Yeah, we lose. GG. Opponent, please just kill me. Jesus Christ. Yeah, opponent had this absolutely absurd Tooth of the Dragon rip off the top that, like, what I can't possibly do anything about that. Yeah, just extremely good. The exact draw they needed to kill me. I gotta be honest with you, Slippy's feeling pretty bad today. A lot of the... I think Slippy will pair well into the absolute top of the meta. If the top decks are Marionette, it's not a good matchup. Gravy, it's okay. Dio, great matchup. Acilio, great matchup. Then Slippy's probably a reasonable pick, although even then, like, just play Marionette. Beyond that, Slippy's, like, appears to be terrible into all of A tier. S tier is reasonable, A tier sucks. You give each other double go again? 2 instances of go again, baby, let's go. I just keep going. Warriors finally getting their time in the light. Also, the E-Strike on the Mantle Spike turn, or Mantle Stains turn, not being a self-attack, felt terrible. E-Strike is absolutely getting cut after this. Give Warriors their time in the sun? You have Marionette. Ooh, I get to do a broken thing, which means I'm not blocking. That isn't true. I go block, block, block. My turn is going to be Kiss of Death, Pitch to Spike, T-Tox it, Clave, Flick, Kiss. Doesn't Dio just race you? Dio races, but I fatigue. It is a better matchup for Slippy if I am fatiguing the Dio, as opposed to trying to race. Oh, they had to leave no witnesses. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I didn't need this take-up. What's worse for me is that my opponent has a leave no witnesses in the graveyard for Codex, and I don't. Yeah, Slippy can fatigue Dio pretty well. Everything blocks 3 except for your Codex of Frailty, which has gives Frailty. You can get your Leave No Witnesses back. Fatiguing Dio actually works pretty well. It is very much on the Dio to draw out of it, as opposed to on you to draw into it. Am I going to T-Tox this Kiss? I am not. I can T-Tox this Clave if my opponent blocks it, or I just Arsenal a T-Tox. Better gamer alert. Yet to be seen. Yet to be seen over there. Double Trouble doesn't touch my board or my hand, so I don't care about it. What does this hand do? This hand can do E-Strike, bottom Razors. This hand kind of sucks. I think this hand does Let's Take the Double Trouble and keep blocking cards to see what happens next. Again, E-Strike is getting replaced with things that have stealth. This E-Strike has consistently felt terrible. All right, what does this mean for me? I almost want them to give Slippy Horrors back, or Bonds back, and then I look at Horrors. I think Huntsman is my least favorite CC hero to play into. These are all true. Spinneret does nothing. I think the line... I don't understand the just play Marionette. There's such different decks with different matchup spreads. I don't think they have different matchup spreads, is the problem. I think this hand goes Clave, Pitch, Pitch. T-Tox it. If our opponent gives us a D-react, damn it, it's a D-react from Arsenal. That's worse. At least now my codexes are online. I'm trying Backstab. It's been really nice with Spike and Horrors. I can see that. My deck just doesn't have any Art of Desire body in it, and currently only one Mark the Black Widow. And I can change that. E-Strike has just consistently felt bad. That's been the biggest problem with E-Strike, is it just isn't, it doesn't play with what the deck wants to do. This hand is pretty good if I don't need to block anything, or if I just block with Sync. What this hand does is play Spinneret, send Double Trouble, Prey Spotters, Stains, Codex, Leave No Witnesses. I think people undervalue Marionette's inability to block and lack of disruption, like Dio and Acilio are not favored for Marionette. I just think Slippy's disruption also isn't great. It's fine. You have things that do things. But it just isn't like, I don't know. I want Slippy's disruption to be better. I don't think I need to sync this. I can't really decide what I get blown out by. I guess it'd be like Pitch Blue CNC, and I'm kind of sad because then my Sync Below doesn't do anything. It's just Infiltrate. Infiltrate will get sunk. And if opponent has steps into Leave No Witnesses, I'm kind of sad, but even then, like, the Spinneret is just 3 damage. I don't need it for my turn. Why not flick Clave into Orbweaver Codex? The Orbweaver, I want a Codex back and Leave No Witnesses. And Orbweaver doesn't affect Leave No Witnesses. Also, I'm probably going to flick Clave on the Leave No Witnesses turn. I'm assuming my opponent's going to block 4. I can start the turn with them marked. There's a fine line between Bonds of Agony Slippy and Meat Madness Slippy. We want right in the middle. I think Meat Madness is a great card. But I do want Slippy to be more disruptive than it currently is. Like, it's just a big problem with Slippy. It was a problem with Slippy in the last meta. The games that you would lose to like other aggro decks were the games where you didn't draw bonds and you were just like a bad aggro deck. And that's kind of where Slippy is now, is just a bad aggro deck. It got help with Meat Madness. Horrors is like maybe a good card. I'm still trying to figure that out. Slippy can at least recur disruptive cards with Horrors and Mantle, or Marionette is just 3 Widow, 3 Meat. I'm not saying Slippy's the better deck, but it is not because it's overshadowed. I'm going to flick a Clave here. 1, my opponent's low. 2, I want them to be marked. 3, I still have 2 Orb Weavers in the deck. Kiss for Arsenal's pretty good when our opponent's almost dead. Orb Weaver into Meat Madness. What does my turn do? Codexes may be good. Black Tech not being Stalker Steps is awkward here because I can't... I guess what my turn actually wants to do is Kiss of Death, pitch Horrors to Clave, flick Kiss. Play Codex. We're not blocking Meat Madness. My boy Slippy is back. I don't know if it's back. Razor's Edge is fine. Okay, you're shrouding for Spike. This goes to 12. I will sync. Oh, wait. Oops. No, I had a reaction. Meant to play that. I quick threw it too quick. What am I syncing? Sinking Mark, which I will not use. Spike is fine. I go to 5. Meat Madness hits my top of the deck. Opponent has lost the 66%. Thank you, Robot Chicken. Yes, I am back on stream. So this Horus just does nothing, unfortunately. This Horus just gets discarded to Codex of Frailty. Sad. Opponent, no. I mean, they're in a... like, opponent can't win from this position, right? They're just... they lose the game. They have to block around... that. I mean, the thing is, that line also didn't block around T-Tox. Because T-Tox makes their 6 block 3 and my 3 attack 6. Alright, opponent's just dead. We got there. Sorry, opponent. We had some gross lines, and we had gross lines early, is specifically what won us that game. I was supposed to break a red back shroud there, just to have something to buy back with silver. Because I would have hit a red and Arsenal and a red off the... would have hit a red and Arsenal and a red off the top of the deck. I have 2 silver. I just buy back 1 block. Really hoping for something in pen to replace bonds. The whole stealth attack suite just feels like it's missing something since the bonds ban. We are, very quickly, it's the last game. It's about time for me to stop streaming, but very quickly, I get to make this change based on all of the games where we cut this dumb fucking card that was consistently bad. I'm gonna... no. Damn it. Put you back in the inventory. You go in the deck. You go in the deck. We're gonna play 3 Black Widow, which is maybe a problem. Maybe I don't have enough ways to get mark on my opponent for Black Widow to be relevant, but we just need stealth attacks, and E-Strike was like consistently bad, consistently clunky with our draws. Anyway, that's the stream. Thank you all for joining. This was a lot of fun. I was happy to have you all here. For anyone who missed it, the stream announcement is that I will not be streaming Fab over the next 2 weeks. So I'm anticipating to be back streaming Flesh and Blood on January the 5th. I will be streaming, though. I'll be streaming Hades 2 for the same hours, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday, Thursday, Friday. Hoping to go for about 2 hours both days. I've really been enjoying Hades 2 on my off time. I want to bring that to the stream. More than anything, I'm just burned the fuck out. I've been playing a lot of Flesh and Blood over the last 6 months. Feeling bad that it's been the same meta for the last 6 months, and I really needed to have stopped playing Cindra earlier, because that deck is fucking boring as shit. So hopefully I will see you all here. I know it isn't necessarily your jam, so I'm not offended if no one shows up to watch me play Hades, but I'd love to have you here. It's a fun game. I'm going to be interacting with the stream still, and then by the time I get back on the 5th, I will be raffling off an Arakni Armory deck. It will force you all to be here and will trick you all into re-engaging with me after you forget that I exist for 2 weeks. I will be posting some games from my streams over the next 2 weeks, so you'll still have some Fab content. But if you've been watching the streams, it's something you've seen before. But if you haven't been watching the streams, it's new to you. So thank you all again for being here. It's been a blast. I hope you all have a great weekend. If I don't see you until January 5th, then I hope you all have a great holiday season, great Christmas, great New Year's. If Hanukkah's still happening, have a great Hanukkah. Until the next time I see you. Oh, and I forgot very quickly, the cosplay announcement. It sucks, and I want to look more into it to see why it sucks so I can make content about it. Sorry to all the cosplayers that I know are having a bad time. But until the next time I see you all, have a great time and take care and bye.